The Secret of the Whispering Woods. Part 1: The Mysterious Path. Lily Parker loved nature but didn't care much for adventure. Every weekend, she would walk through the park near her house, following the same path, never straying too far into the woods. The Whispering Woods, as they were called, were thick with trees and always seemed to be hiding something. People in town said strange things happened there, so most avoided it. One sunny Saturday, Lily noticed something different. A narrow path, barely visible, seemed to lead deeper into the woods. She had never seen it before. Curious but hesitant, she stood at the edge, wondering if she should follow it. It's just a path, she thought. What's the worst that could happen? Taking a deep breath, she stepped onto the trail. As she walked, the trees around her grew taller, their leaves rustling softly, as if whispering secrets. The path twisted and turned, taking her further into the woods than she had ever gone before. Suddenly, she saw something sparkling in the distance. A small wooden sign, covered in ivy, appeared in front of her. The sign read, "Welcome to the Whispering Woods, where every story comes to life." Lily blinked. Stories? Come to life, she whispered, but there was no one to answer her. Part 2: Meeting the Guide. As Lily stepped closer, the woods grew quieter, except for the sound of her own footsteps. She was about to turn back when she heard a voice. "Ah, a new visitor. It's been a while since someone found the path." Startled, Lily looked around and saw an old woman standing beside a tree. She had twinkling eyes, a warm smile, and a walking stick decorated with small carvings of animals and books. "Who are you?" Lily asked, trying to hide her surprise. "I'm Eleanor," the old woman said kindly. "I'm the storyteller of these woods." "Storyteller?" Lily repeated. "What do you mean?" Eleanor chuckled. "In these woods, stories come alive. Every book, every tale you've ever heard or read can be experienced here. All you have to do is listen." Listen. Lily was confused. "The trees, they whisper stories," Eleanor explained. "Some are about adventures, some are about faraway lands, and some are about lessons we all need to learn." Lily looked around, noticing the gentle rustling of the leaves. It was as if the trees really were whispering. "Can I hear one?" Lily asked. Eleanor smiled. "Not just hear, my dear. You'll live it." Part 3: The First Story. Eleanor led Lily to a clearing, where a giant oak tree stood in the center. She touched its trunk and whispered, "Show us a story of courage." Suddenly, the world around Lily changed. She found herself standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at a wide, fast-moving river. On the other side was a village, and she could hear people calling for help. Lily's heart raced. "What's happening?" she asked, looking around for Eleanor. But the old woman was gone. Instead, a young boy appeared beside her, his face full of worry. "Please," the boy said, "we need to get across, but the bridge is broken. Can you help us?" Lily looked at the river. It was wide and wild, and she had no idea how to cross it. But the boy's eyes were full of hope, and she knew she had to try. Taking a deep breath, she found a narrow part of the river where the current wasn't as strong. Using nearby branches and stones, she helped the boy and his friends create a temporary bridge. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to get them across safely. When they reached the village, the people cheered, and Lily felt a sense of pride she had never felt before. She had done something brave. Suddenly, the village faded, and Lily was back in the clearing with Eleanor. "You showed courage," Eleanor said, smiling. "That's the magic of these woods. The stories teach us things we didn't know we had inside." Part 4. Discovering New Stories. Over the next few weeks, Lily returned to the Whispering Woods. Every time, she met Eleanor, who guided her through a new story. Some stories taught her about kindness, others about patience, and some were just pure fun, taking her to far-off lands filled with dragons and talking animals. One day, Lily met a young girl named Emma, who was also exploring the woods. They became fast friends, sharing their stories and learning from each other's experiences. Emma loved the stories about ancient cultures, while Lily preferred the ones filled with adventure. Together, they laughed, learned, and grew in ways they hadn't expected. Part 5. The Final Lesson. One afternoon, Lily found Eleanor waiting for her at the edge of the woods. "It's time for your final story," Eleanor said, her eyes twinkling. "What's it about?" Lily asked, excited but a little sad, knowing her time in the Whispering Woods was coming to an end. "This one," Eleanor said softly, "is about you." Lily looked confused. "Me?" Eleanor nodded. "You've learned so much in these woods. Now, it's time for you to write your own story." As the words left Eleanor's lips, the woods around Lily shimmered and faded. She found herself back on the familiar path leading home. Lily realized that the magic of the Whispering Woods wasn't just in the stories. It was in the lessons she had learned and the courage she had found within herself. From that day on, Lily didn't just walk through the park. She walked through life with the confidence to write her own adventures, knowing that every step was a new chapter in her story. The end. Moral of the story. Every story we experience teaches us something valuable. Courage and curiosity can lead to unexpected adventures. We all have the power to write our own stories,